y'all. Let's cut that light out so we don't get that in our faces. Hey, y'all. It's gonna be kind of a raw talk tonight. Um, gonna be kind of raw and uncut tonight. I'm gonna give about 2-3 minutes, let a few people come in, so that YouTube knows that we're here. Tonight we're gonna be talking about what makes good business sense. And yeah, it's gonna be kind of a shit talking video because truth of the matter is some of us need to get our shit together. So tonight's video, y'all, I just want to kind of been talking to some people today and kind of want to sit back and talk about some things. Y'all know tea talks are raw talks. These are raw business talks, where I just come to you and talk. Just, I'm just T. Not Lady Print Boss or Latana, but my ulterior ego T. A lot of us aren't doing things that make good business sense. And one thing I have in business, y'all, is longevity. Nobody can deny it. That one thing I have in business is longevity. See, a lot of people you're trying to make a career in printing, right? You decide, hey, I want to print, or whatever business it is that you want to do. You want to make a career out of it. The issue is that some of us have issues within ourselves. And I'm going to explain this to y'all as y'all come in. As y'all come into the chat, let me know where y'all from. Let me know you're in the chat. Say hey. The issue is that some of us have baggage and habits. And tonight I'm going to talk about my community, right? A lot of times, if you've a lot of times people have that keeping up with the Jones type of personality where I gotta have this and I gotta have that, right? And you never get to where you're trying to get to because you're all over the place. So let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So United States government says that most people, most Americans don't even have 3 months of rent, right? My dad told me you need 6 months to be able to pay your bills for 6 months, right? Anytime that you're doing anything. And that's what his mama told him, right? So now we go and we look at, okay, well, if you need to be able to pay 6 months of bills, and the average American, you don't even have 3 months of bills, right? What I want to talk to y'all about is making good business decisions. I got to make some myself, right? When you're running a business, let's say that I bring in, if it's $500, if it's $1,000, if it's $20,000, whatever it is. You know how you put that 10% back for Jesus, or you go to the restaurant and you tip 10 or 15%? Take 10 or 15% of everything you make and put it to the side. Money don't really matter to me anymore. Only thing that I need money for, y'all, is to take care of myself, to take care of my family. And I look at it and I'm like, Why are some people out here killing it and others not? It's not always what it looks like, right? It can look like it's like you can see a person and you can see the house they live in. I can't tell y'all how many people I know that have these huge, beautiful homes, but when you go inside the house, they got Hobby Lobby furniture or no furniture at all because they're living in a glass house. So in business, you know, think about that when you are purchasing something. I was sitting up and I'm thinking anything that I do, I have to sleep on. So, as of late, I'm looking at purchasing a DTG printer and um, looking at embroidery, looking at other things, not because I need those add ons, but because I'm always looking to elevate. But I'm not looking to get equipment just to be getting fucking equipment, right? You can't get equipment just to be getting equipment. And you can't get equipment because you seen Joe Blow has this piece of equipment. You gotta make it make business sense to you, right? So I've been going back and forth with this stuff. And I asked myself, what about a DTG printer or an printer, embroidery machine, or a sublimation printer? What about making this purchase, if I make a purchase that's, let's say, 10 grand? How is this going to affect my bottom line? How long is it going to take me to get my money back? Right? What's the game plan before I purchase this equipment? What's the game plan once I get the equipment? How long is the learning curve going to be? How am I going to market that equipment? Right? Or should you, let's say you got some extra funds and it's like, okay, I need to put back for a rainy day. I don't think a lot of us are putting back for a rainy day. And I think that's a big issue in the community with a lot of small businesses, is that you're not putting back, you're not saving, right? The pre-game is to make money. And what's in your pockets, right? A little story. So there's a restaurant here in Dallas that maybe 25 years ago, this restaurant was a restaurant that black folks really didn't go to. Um, and I don't know why, right? I don't know why. Now I don't know why, but I just knew then that, hey, black people don't go over there and eat. This is, that's a white restaurant. And I'll never forget the day I was hungry and I was pregnant with Kiana. We riding down the street and Ken said, let's go over there and get breakfast. And I looked because from my perception, I had always been, it was always, oh, it's just a white restaurant. Black people don't really go over there. Not knowing why, not knowing if it was an issue or anything. I'm just repeating what, I've got an idea of this restaurant because I've heard somebody say this, right? We wasn't dressed, and when I say dressed, like dressed to really go out to eat dinner, it's kind of dressed, a t-shirt, maybe jeans or something. My husband said, what did he say exactly? I can't remember exactly how he said it, but what he told me that day, he taught me a valuable lesson. He said, it ain't about the color of your skin. It ain't about what you got on, baby. At the end of the day, it's about what you got in your pockets. If you can go in there, all the thing them people care about is you being able to pay their bill. So we went in, we sat down and we ate. Oh, they was the nicest folks. The nicest people in the world. And we started eating there every week. We ate there for like the past 20 some years. We haven't eaten there in about a year because we don't live in that part of Dallas anymore. So, we looked at things, we were looking at this place from the outside, looking in. And because I had heard, oh, black people don't go over there and eat, I'm just thinking that, right? But turned out now we was the only black folks off in there, right? But once I went, I told somebody, they told somebody, they told somebody. It was never what people said it would be. People were judging from the inside out, looking. Um, so now I always think about things that way. Like, I look and I'm more careful about how I perceive people to be. Or when I look at someone's business model, I look at how they're perceived to be, right? I don't look at that. That's why when I come to y'all on this channel, it's raw and uncut. We ain't got no fancy edits over here, right? I'm here in the house. I ain't got no makeup on today. I don't come to y'all like that. I come to y'all just me, raw tea. And um, I'm a simple person, right? I believe in saving your money and holding it so that when you need to make those business decisions, you're able to make it and you're able to make moves because money is what moves people, right? Don't go and buy a high dollar piece of equipment if it's going to put you in a struggle, right? A lot of times we say, well, if I just had that screen printing set up, then I will be able to make money, right? But you get the equipment and then you don't know how to make the money. Or you get the embroidery machine and you don't know how to make the money. You get the dye sublimation machine and you don't know how to make the money, right? Told y'all in my last video, my last TalK video, how you should be building up your clientele before you go into any type of business. Whole purpose of this video today is I happen to have a phone call today with one of the reps over at Melco. So I'm strolling through line. I get an email about a embroidery machine, and I fill out the form because I want to know how much it is. I want to do, I want to maybe do some shopping around. And y'all know when it comes to embroidery, that's not my thing. So if I'm going to even think about it, I need to think about, okay, I want to know the ins and the outs and what's best for me. And before I get on the phone with them, I already have preconceived notions of what it is that I want. I already have things that are going to check my box. I'm no longer into heavy equipment. I don't want anything heavy. I don't want anything that is not going to fit in my business model. And I don't want to buy anything extra. I'm going to get to the point. So as I'm asking about machines, I say, hey, I'm talking to the guy and he's telling me about all the things that you can do with embroidery now. And I see all the TikTok videos, right? I see y'all. I see the TikTok videos. I see the Instagram videos. And I see all of the big embroidery patches, the mama embroidery, sister, brother, whatever, Jesus and prayers and all of that stuff. And that's fine, right? And so we're talking about, the different types of embroidery that you can do and all of this. And I said, I'm not, because beforehand I already know what I need, because this is my business, right? And in my business, I do screen printing and I deal with corporate clients. I don't do a lot of big prints. You don't see me do all over prints. Anytime that a customer calls me and they need embroidery, it's going to be that left chest logo. Y'all know, something plain simple. I'm the boring girl, but the man said this. So I'm talking and I say, yeah, well, I'm looking for, if I'm doing an embroidery job, my customer is going to be that customer who's going to maybe get embroidery on a cap, or they're going to do that left chest logo. Not anything else. I just don't have the market for the all over. I don't have the market for the full. And I'm not looking for the market. And this is why I say you have to know your business, right? You have to know your business. Yes, Shelton, it just becomes furniture. Um, you have to know the market that you're in, and you have to know your customers. So when I said to him, I said, hey, I'm not looking for a big embroidery machine. I'm looking for something lightweight. Y'all know I'm all into wheels and everything being mobile. So we're talking about the EM1010, right? I think the E1010 or whatever it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The embroidery machine by Racoma. So we're talking about that machine. He tells me it has the 10 needles on it, and I'm telling him what I need. And honestly, guys, I mean, like, for me with embroidery, in my mind, I know that most of my customers, at the most, we're looking at 4 colors, right? The majority of my customers are very, very simple, and they're going to be doing 1, 2, and 3 color jobs. Very, very simple stuff. Because I deal with corporate logos, and if you deal with corporate logos, then you know that most corporate logos are going to be 1 to 2 colors, 3 colors at the most. Now, depending on your type of clientele, if you're dealing with fashionable designs, or you're dealing with hip hop or more urban styles, then you're going to go with full prints, and people are going to want color, and they're going to want glitter and puff inks and all of this, right? That's why y'all don't see me do that stuff, because I deal with the corporate stuff. That's where the money is for me. And it's easy, right? Remember when I told you guys in the last TalK video, I said you got to know you're lazy? You got to know your lazy level. Um, corporate events, not corporate events, but corporations and companies and the things that I deal with, it's easy for me, right? What makes it easy is that I don't have to do any logos. I don't have to really do any designing. Now I'm a separation specialist. I can do I'm a vector graphic artist, and I can do all of that. But about uh, maybe 2017, 2018, when I realized that my eyes were going bad, I said, we're going to have to stop doing artwork. Doing artwork in-house was a pain in the butt to me. And I said, we're going to have to stop doing artwork, and we're going to have to outsource artwork. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to outsource artwork. I'm just going to limit my time on the computer. I started going after better customers who only had art departments. Guess what? If you got an art department, you got some money. You got an art department, you got some money. If you go after customers who have professional logos for their business, trademarked logos, copyrighted logos, you better believe it's already print ready, right? So I did that. And today I happened to get a phone call. Let's talk about a bunch of different things. Today I happened to get a phone call. And I had someone that called me. I've had 2 calls this week where people have called me and asked me, can I do you guys do graphic design? Well, of course, I'll do things like text things and simple logos, and that's it for me. If you call me and, hey, you want a fairy, and the fairy's jumping out of a hat, and she's got balloons and this and no. That's not me. I'm not the person for you to call for that, right? And that's okay, because I know my business model, I know what I want to do, and I know what I don't want to do. And a lot of times, people, when you're in business, you'll just take any order, right? Because you're just trying to get a customer. You're just trying to get a customer. I'm telling you guys this because I did an article in Impressions Magazine a couple of years ago talking about customers and knowing your customers and the rat race to the bottom, right? A lot of times you get burnt out because you're dealing with things that you really don't want to do. You really don't have a passion for that. But because you're chasing the dollar, you say, oh, I'll do this, right? So as I was doing that, because I've done that too, when I started my business and I was doing that type of stuff, I realized the cheapest customer is always the most hardest customer to deal with. Always. The hardest one to deal with, right? They want the most amount of work and they want it for the cheapest amount that they can get it. And you have to, and this is why you have to charge people for everything that you do, right? So I'm talking to the guy and I say, sure, we can do a graphic for you, right? We can do a graphic for you, but it'll be, a text, some clip art, things like that. You have to give, I don't do anything off the dome. That ain't me. Don't call me for anything off the dome. If I'm doing something off the dome, it's a design that is, it's either a company that I know and I already know their style, I already have a business relationship with you, or it's something that I'm doing for the Lady Print Boss brand, or something I'm doing for my dog registry, something like that. But just designing off the dome for people, no. And the reason why is because there's this stigma that hovers over people in the print industry where customers assume that because you do printing that your design services are free or that your design services are cheap, right? So at the point when I am doing graphic designs and graphic logos, if you're doing something for a company and you're going to redraw a logo or you're going to create a logo from scratch, right? A lot of times in the print industry, it's like, oh, we'll do that design for you because you're getting the print. So for me, I only do things within 15 minutes. I may do something for free. Try to push up things to $25, at least $25 just for text and little clip art, things like that, right? So being that in Dallas, anyways, people don't want to pay for art services, right? I won't offer them. And guess what? It was no sweat off of my back. It was no sweat off of my back because it freed up time for me to bring in more customers and to build business more and more and more. So, guys, you gotta in business, you gotta do business to where it makes sense for you. It can't make sense for Lady Print Boss in my business. It has to make sense for you. Whether you go and you're in a shop, I can't tell you guys how many times people said, you running two automatics, you got screen print machine, oh, you got this big bay, you got everything going for you. Why do you not want to print in a commercial setting anymore? Right? Why would you give that up, Latana? Why would you give that up? Only my best friend said, hey, and I said, hey, I want to have a life, right? I can make a goal with this and still have my life and do this from home. And so that's what I did. I had to do what was best for me, right? What was best for me, because that life was 8 a.m. to the morning, 12, 1 o'clock at night. It just was not working for me. So I always tell people is do what's best for you, right? Master one thing before you move to the other thing. Had a few people that got offended last week when I said when you invest in too many things at one time, you master nothing. And I meant that and I stand on it. Now, can I do sublimation? Yes. And DTF? Yes. And screen print? Yes. And embroidery? Yes. I can do all of this stuff, right? But here's the thing, you're going to do yourself injustice when you don't master one thing and then move and increase and master something else and then master something else and master something else. So back to the Racoma thing. I'm a master screen printer, right? What is boxes the screen printing check for me? 1 to 2 designs, 24 to 48 pieces, 4 color designs, over 48 pieces, right? We're getting those jobs that are now going into the 1,000 pieces. And as it gets into the 1,000 pieces, I was saying to myself today, thinking of that, I think there was somebody for about 1,200 pieces that I did. Oh, yes, I did. I did quote her. I did quote her. Sorry, guys. My mind went off into Moneyland. So I know my sweet spot of where I want to be, right? I always have said, and I still say today, the only issue that I ever had and the only problem that I have in my business is being able to do 1 and 2 shirts, um, black shirts, do those efficiently, quickly, and effectively for customers. But watch me break this down. I have to make that make sense. Because today, as I'm thinking, and I'm saying, okay, so if you bring in a DTG printer and you can do the software and it prints, right? The design for you. How many of these are you physically able to do, and where is the customer going to come from, right? Keep it 100. So for me, I'm working at home. You ain't coming to the house to pick up 1 shirt. We're not going to have people running in and out of our house like Grand Central Station, right? Because you guys know that DTG printing is meant to be print on demand. So for me to bring in DTG, my mindset is it needs to be mobile. It needs to be mobile in order for me to do it. It would be something that would be used for events. So it takes me back to, and this, I'm going places with this, y'all. I'm looking at the F2270. I'm looking at the F1000 or F1070, whichever one it is, the smaller one. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at what everybody's doing and the comparison, how many shirts they're saying you print a month. I'm looking at the size, how heavy it is. I'm looking at the ink, how if I go with the bigger machine over here, I can get ink cheaper. But if I go with this smaller compact machine, I can put it in here and I don't have to, I can put it in here, I don't have to pay as much for ink out of pocket at a time. So let's say that this ink cartridge over here is $300. This ink cartridge over here is $129. I'm getting less ink over here, right? But when I look at it in bulk and I say, okay, I've got to buy like 8 ink cartridges at one time, I'm actually saving. Although over here in bulk, I would be saving a little bit more money, right? So I'm looking at the two and I'm comparing things. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what works best for my business, because everybody will tell you always buy to grow, right? But if you're buying just to buy and you look at what you need, for me, I buy what I need, right? What's going to get the job done? What's going to serve the purpose best for my business? And as I'm looking at that, I'm comparing these two machines, right? And I'm saying to myself, because you can easily go down a rabbit hole, right? You can easily go down a rabbit hole when you decide you're going to buy equipment. Y'all follow me. Some of y'all then went down that rabbit hole and got lost and built a whole tunnel. So you can easily go down a rabbit hole, right? When you start buying equipment because you start thinking, oh, I need this and I need that. Going back to my original thought is that I want a machine for mobile printing. Be able to throw prints on there, do things I need to do for myself. So then I have to ask myself, if I'm buying a print on demand, a machine that's made to be able to print on demand, but I'm not able to have, I don't have a facility where people are going to walk in and get shirts. I don't want to go back that way anymore. I know I don't want to go back that way anymore. I hated being in the shop and running orders and customers popping in. That's why I went to an all online business, right? And I'm like, I love that. I don't want to deal, and it's okay, right? Because I know me, it's okay. When I stopped dealing with single customers, I freed up a lot of my time. So now I have to go back and say, why do I want a DTF printer or DTG printer, right? Again, so when we look at that, we say, oh, okay, what are some other uses that I can use this DTG printer for? Because you got to know what you're using, the equipment that you're buying, what it's going to be used for, and you got to figure out a plan of action to make it make money, because you got to get a return on your investment, right? So let's say that this printer is 10 grand. I got to figure out, okay, what's the fastest way for me to get a return on my investment? And then I think, okay, well, I can start my own line. I can be doing stuff. I can put stuff in my Etsy store. I can advertise that I do custom one-offs, but I'm shipping those out. So it's a lot of things that we can do, okay? And I have to compare the print size. Okay, this one over here, I can print 16 inches wide. This one over here, I can only print 10 by 12. And then I have to think, because my first mind says I don't want the small printer, because the small printer, I can't print bigger size stuff with it, right? But then you got to do what's best for your business. So you got to make it make sense for you. So then you go back, and I looked and I said, okay, let me go back and let me look through our orders. See, I'm making it make sense, right? Go back and look through the orders that you have, or the type of things, the type of printing that you do. And we know that my average size customer is going to order something that's 9 inches, right? I just did like 4 different designs. Those were all 9, no more than about 9 by 10s. And then I say, well, if I'm going 10 by 12, that's actually covers about 90% of what I do. So from a $20,000 machine to a $10,000 machine, I could save 10 grand, right? What can I do with that 10 grand that I'm saving? Then you have to go and you have to think, okay, well, I'm going to buy, are you going to save the money to, because as you're working in business, do I take the money out of my savings and pay the 10 grand and buy a machine in full, right? When you're thinking about buying equipment, do you buy it in full or do you finance it out? Because if you buy it in one whop, you buy it and you're done with it, right? But you can't take the depreciation value over the years. Because when you're buying equipment for your business, you can write it off over the years. Should you lease it? That's why a lot of times people lease big equipment, because of the benefits they get when it comes time to file taxes, right? So you can say, okay, well, if I buy this machine and I lease it, or I buy it and I'm financing it out in payments, and you look at, okay, well, they want, for example, the embroidery machine I was looking at was $159 a month. $159 a month, yo, that's almost free, right? Just move a couple of apps around and don't pay this. Hell, just on the savings from moving my website from Pressable paying $60 a month to paying $60 for a whole year, you know, you saving money. So just looking at things, I look at things like that. And I try to find, anytime I'm thinking about making a purchase, I go back in and I say, okay, where can I pay for this machine at in the business? If I buy a machine and let's say I'm paying $200 a month for it, how many caps or how many shirts do I need to do just to make the payment, right? And then how many can I realistically do, right? um, to make it make sense for me. So I look and I say, okay, well, if I'm going to spend $159 a month, then I need to be making $1,600 a month off of it, right? We gonna times it by 100, or yeah. I need to make 1,600 bucks off of it. Can I do that? Can I make 500 bucks off of it? Can you, because when you first start, you're looking at, okay, I've got screen printed customers, but how am I going to market? How would I market embroidery, for example? First thing I'm going to do is go over to the website, put a big sign up there, right? In-house embroidery, put caps up there with embroidered caps and this, that, and other. And so that's how you're going to start building your traction, right? Let's say that a customer places an order for screen printing. I throw a little embroidery patch in the box with a flyer that now we do embroidery. So because I already have customers, I can build off of the customers that I have. Same thing with the DTG, right? So just kind of thinking about things like, how do you make things make sense in your business when you're trying to grow? A lot of times I see people, I tell people every year that I'm training, wait till October or November to buy equipment. Y'all know why? Those are the months when people go out of business. It's not warm anymore. It's not hot outside. Businesses start to slow down. People start to sell equipment. People go in business in the summer months and they go out of business in the winter months. And they have a hard time making it. Like for me, my normal frame that I'm my money making time. We in the thick of it right now. We in the thick of it. My money making time is going to be March, and this year it kicked off in February. But it's normally going to be March through November. And about the middle, and it's going to be that middle of November is when I quit, like right about the 10th of November. Those are the months that I make my money. The rest of the months, I have to make enough money in about 9 months out of the year, right? To hold me 8 or 9 months out of the year to hold those other 4 months. Not that I don't make money those other 4 months, but I normally kind of December, I ain't doing that because it's cold. You know you're lazy. I know that. I ain't getting up out my bed in the cold, in the rain, and the this and the that. I know it. I can do that because I didn't put my time in, right? Everybody can't do that. But once you put your time in, you know when you're going to have customers coming. You know what time of the year it's going to be slow. You know that such and such is going to have an event. That's going to be a 10 grand event that's going to pull you through. Like right now, we are in April. I'm already booked out. I've got stuff booked all the way through September, right? Orders. Not a complete booking, but I've got events and orders and activities going on throughout the year into the future. It's always good that when you're dealing with a client to find out things like, hey, so what they're having an event, right? Let's say somebody calls you and they're having an event and you're chit-chatting. Is this something that you guys do every year? What's wrong with asking? Right? Is this something that you guys do every year? Oh, do you guys put on fundraising events all the time? You want to know, right? You want to know. Because if you do, two, if they say, yeah, we do something, our company's always doing something, we're doing, oh, well, we have a great deal where if you do 4 events with us throughout the year, and you're gonna, and when I say events, I'm talking about like in-house printing. I'm not talking about like going out to events, but people will have events. And so let's say if they do 4 jobs with you through the year, they know that have they have this thing going on in January. They know they have this walk going on in July. They know that in October, and we're talking about companies, right? We're talking about companies, because companies, y'all, we're not talking about any Tom, Dick, or Harry, right? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about pipe dreams. We're talking about real dreams. We're not talking about them pipe dreams where people smoking and all that. We're talking about real dreams, right? We're talking about businesses and corporations, because you got, in order for you to be able to deal with businesses and corporations, have to know how they think, right? They're already planning ahead a year. That part, a whole year. Some are planning ahead 2 years. They know, oh, we have an anniversary coming up, such, such, such. Oh, in October, we're going to be doing this. So if you are lucky enough, I landed a really big client last month. If you're lucky enough to be able to hold a conversation with people and figure out where you can fit in their business, and how you can stay in their presence, right? Then you can make more money than just a one-off order. And that's where a lot of people in this business fail. There's no secret sauce. The secret sauce is in opening up your mouth and talking for it, right? And asking a few questions and trying to figure out where you can get to. My oldest 2 kids' dad, he was such a whore. But I tell y'all, I always say that there's something that you can learn from everybody. I've never met a person that I did not learn something from. One time he said to me, in his country, they say, money begot money. I ain't got knees, but I know what that means. So, in other words, people with money hang around people with money. Once you figure out how to hang around with people that have money, you'll never be broke. And if you are broke, you won't be broke for long, because you're hanging around with friends who have money, right? And people who have money, they normally spend money, right? And you want them to spend that money with you. So the next time that you get a customer and you talk to a customer, and let's say you got a customer and they order 50 shirts, or they order something from you. Let's say that you are, and let's even go back, because you guys need to figure out at some point how to break into the corporate space, right? People always say, yeah, but I don't have the ability to do that. I came from vinyl, baby. Vinyl. Okay? Vinyl. And he transfers. Just like many people. And here's the thing. You know those individual people that you're doing those shirts for? Let's say somebody calls you and their kid is doing something and they need a name on the back of the shirt. And they call and they say, hey, yeah, we're having a so and so and so, and we need a name on the back of the shirt, right? Well, find out how many other kids need a name on the back of their shirt. Is it a football league? Is it whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I was talking to a lady that called me, and she was like, yeah, we do this little league stuff, and kids are always wanting shirts, and they need, we need to put the name, they want to put we pay for this, but they put their names on the back or whatever. You could really ask someone, well, so does the whole team, how do you guys do that? Can I get the number of the person, da 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 da? Right? You got to open up the door and talk for it. Even when you're talking to your customers, and so I have people who call me and they say, "Yeah, it's somebody's birthday in the office." Oh, so what company are you with? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I find out what you do, what's your job position. Okay, Joe. Well, we offer such and such and such. Sell yourself. Sell yourself. You guys have any corporate events going on, or you guys have any company parties, or you guys ever do any type of walks or any type of nonprofit things like that? We do all of that. Try to get a pen, a mouse pad, a mug, something there on somebody's desk who is in charge of something. Secretaries, uh, get in contact with the people who are over marketing in these different companies, right? As you're talking to people, you'd be surprised when you go, even when you're out eating. When you at the bar and you having that drink, we just left the Applebee's. And you having that drink and you holding a conversation with somebody and they tell you, oh yeah, I do trucking and such and such and such and such. You know, pull out that card. We do such and such and such, right? Use those opportunities to build business. But you got to make it make sense for you. You got to make it make sense for you. And don't tell you what you can't do. At dinner today, I'm not going to tell y'all what me and my husband specifically talked about, but at dinner tonight, we sat down and we're talking. Whenever your significant other or maybe your business partner, I don't, it's just me and Ken, for me to talk to. Maybe your lady friends, your mentors, your mentees. I talk to my mentees about my business goals too. It's not a one-way street, honey. They help me out all the time. Y'all help me out all the time. All the time. And so sometimes when you are thinking about doing something and you feel like you're going to go over that cliff, say, hey girl, so I'm thinking about buying this here, talk me off that cliff. Okay? Let's go over why I should buy this or why I should not buy this. Because sometimes just writing it down or just thinking it in your mind, it doesn't hit like when it's said out loud or when you're talking to someone else about it, right? At the end of the day, you need to make it make sense for you, right? And your friends and family or whoever can give you opinions, right? And you have to be very careful about who you share your information with and who you're going to get your opinions from, right? Because everybody's opinion, you don't want everybody's opinion. It's got to be somebody. Let me go back. If you're going to take advice from somebody, it has to be a like-minded person, right? So when I say money begot money, you got to be around somebody who's trying to get money, they want money. But when you are trying to deal with something and think about something business sense and business oriented, everybody ain't business oriented. Everybody ain't business oriented. Mm-mm. No, ma'am, minor. Temple. Okay. We know everybody ain't business minded. And some people will tell you, girl, jump out there. Jump out there, you got it. Right? Sometimes you got to talk down off a cliff. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. So, in business, y'all just out there in the comments, or do y'all know what I'm talking about, though? Right? Let's see here. Let's see who's on here. Imperial Custom Printing TV says, what would be a good selling point for that though? Like, do they do 4 orders with you and then what? What's the incentive? Okay, the incentive is that I'm going to give you a set price. So let's say that I have a lady, I have one of my best customers, right? She buys shirts throughout the year, and every time that she places an order, her orders normally around 235 shirts. That's her number. Why? I don't know. Sometimes she will place an order and that order is 100 shirts, or she needs an order and the order is only 50 shirts, but I'm doing the same design for her, right? So I'm doing that same design for her, and it's a 3-color design, white shirts, always the same shirt. I do the same exact design for her. I keep her screens on file. Now with screen printing, we know that your screen print prices, you're going to be pricing based up on, with screen printing, your prices are going to be based on that sliding scale, right? So at, let's say at 25 pieces to 200 pieces, you could be paying anywhere from $2 a print. Um, let's say we could be paying $5 or $6 a print, down to, let's say, $1.50 a print, right? Where it makes sense at for your customers is for them not to be on that sliding scale. That's where you make it make sense for them, where they get a set price on their jobs, right? So let's say you have, it's just like you have a VIP customers, right? So if you have VIP customers, that VIP customer, that VIP customer is going to get perks, right? And so, and here are the perks. So, for example, customers that I have who have been with me and I'm doing your orders all the time, I pretty much have your artwork. I have a good rapport with you. We've learned each other, so it doesn't take me long to take your order. I know what you want. You know, we work together and you kind of vibe, right? So for those customers are normally, and it's just the way business work, y'all. So don't nobody out here get offended, right? But let's say an average order takes 10 days. If I got a customer who I deal with all the time, I've got your screens on order, right? I've got your screens not on order but in queue, or I have your artwork at least. Your order may jump from a 10-day order to a 5-day order. So let's say that your standard printing time is 10 days. And now I have this VIP customer, right? VIP customers, you're going to get your order in 5 days. Okay? You're going to get, instead of you paying that fluctuation, you getting fluctuated between $16 and $11 a shirt. All of your shirts are going to be at this $11 mark, right? Why would we do that at that $11 mark versus that $16 mark where we say, oh, you're leaving $5 on the table? You're not. Sometimes it's 13, sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 16, right? But what we have, the motivation for us is that we know that we have our calendar and we got January, March, April, May, June. So we just place an order. So next month they'll place an order. So we know that every other month we have this customer locked in. And that customer is going to pay a bill. So now during the month, let's say this is that customer orders, let's say you got that customer orders 4 times a year, right? Every 3 months you know that customer is going to place an order, right? A lot of times people reorder. It's just like if you buy something on Amazon. You know how you buy something on Amazon, Keisha, and Amazon will tell you put it on uh, automatic shipping, and it'll ship that product out to you every month or whatever it is, right? And in order for you getting that done, you're gonna save, let's say you're save 10% or whatever, and it could be a percentage, right? Now you can put people on, and this is the thing. When you're doing things like this, you have to be careful you have to be we're talking about dealing with businesses, with reputable businesses, that this is what they do, right? And so I would not just turn around and say, hey, we'll put you on corporate pricing your first order around. I'm not going to do that. Now, if you place a big order with me, I'm going to send you something. I may put the offer out there, right? But I need to know that this is the type of things that you do. And most companies are buying merch. They're going to buy merch throughout the years, especially if they have employees. So why shouldn't you be the one that's front and center? Why shouldn't you be their only printer? I can do everything that you need me to do, right? And we could give you a discount on pens, on this, on this, on that. So while we may have one price list, you can do what if you got the t-shirt calculator, you can have one price list that's for your regular customers. You can have a price list over here that's for wholesale customers and give them an extra 10% or 20%, whatever you feel that you need to give, right? Off of the order. At the end of the year, it's going to help you because you have now, throughout those months, you have an extra $2,000 coming in from this customer. You know they're going to place this order, right? And you just auto bill it every couple of months, right? And it could be a situation to where they don't order the same thing, right? And that's fine too. So you could have a situation then to where you say, okay, well, if you place an order and the order is 1 to 2 colors, this is going to be the price. Or if it's this to this, then this is going to be the price. Now, if you don't meet the minimum, and let's say that that you violate the agreement and that you don't keep up with what you're supposed to do, then you go back and you put them on regular pricing. It's simple as that. You have to be creative out here nowadays in this space. You have to offer, like right now, if you've done business with anyone in the last 3 months, give me a show of hands in the comments. How many of you have done business with the customer in the last 3 months and have reached out to that customer after the sale? Are you reaching out to your customers after the sale? Because if you're not reaching out to your customers after that sale, they'll forget about you, right? You should at least keep contact with them. I'm not an every month type of girl, right? But if you have a customer and you're not sending them 4 emails throughout the year, 4 text messages, something, you're not, you know, adding them to your social media, you don't have a ghost account, you don't have any kind of way that you're communicating with them and you're making sure that they're seeing you and that you're in their eyesight within, you know, that's an issue. That's an issue. You're not doing good business practice. So today's video just about, making it make sense and making it make sense for you, right? Before you make those purchases, think about, hey, how is this going to affect my bottom line? Am I going to be able to get my money out of this? And how? Because so many of y'all, I'm going to tell y'all what you do. You buy a piece of equipment, it comes, right? And what happens? Sometimes you don't even unbox it. It sits in the corner. Today I was thinking about something and I said, hey, I gotta see a really, really good deal on this. And if I buy this machine, I'll probably end up saving about $3,000-$4,000 if I buy this machine used and not buy it new, but I gotta put a print head on it, right? Talk me down. And the person I was talking to said, girl, you don't even like to repair printers anymore. You say you're done with that. I say, yeah, but I can put a print head on it, won't be a problem. She said, well, how long is it going to sit there? Because you can't, she said, you can't be slowed down right now. This your business. See? So you got to have somebody talk you out to make it make sense. That's what she said. She said, well, you can't do it now. You ain't got time to be stopping your whole operation, fooling with print heads and trying to fix a printer and make this work. And then you got stuff you got to do. See, you can easily get sidetracked. You can easily get side. This is why I tell y'all about these printers and machines that don't work. Because the machine don't work and it broke down there, you sidetrack, you trying to fix, you're trying to figure out another, and you can get off track. Soon as she said it to me, well, when the hell are you gonna be able to do that? Because right now you can't get sidetracked. You know what I said? You sure right. It's money season. I won't even be able to look at that machine until October. She said, well, but October, by the time you look at the machine in October, honey, you could have been about 3 of those. So what are you even thinking? You gotta have somebody talk you down off the ledge sometime and tell you, hey, that ain't making sense, right? I have to go. You have to go. I was able to get 20 more shirts. Good evening, everyone. When it comes to just trying to believe me, I was there. Yes. So just things like that, Keisha. Um, it could be, hey, let's say for example, if you want to break into, you're doing screen printing, you want to break into embroidery, offer a deal. You got 25 shirts and you can get 10 caps, or you got to. So we used to do this package where we did a package for like new business startups. I tried. It went really good because I'll give you guys a niche. Small businesses need a lot of things, right? As a small business owner, let's say that you have a bakery shop, right? You may want, and you have, let's say you only got 2 employees. It's you and then somebody else that's back there cooking. 2 employees in the bakery shop, right? Small businesses still spend money. They want to spend money, and they'll come to you and they'll say, well, hey, I want to buy a couple of shirts for myself, right? So you got to figure out how can you take that two-piece shirt order and turn that into something that's going to make sense to you, where you can get an order to where, okay, it's at least a couple of $100 now, right? So if you look at something like that and you say, okay, well, if it's how many employees do you have? And I got 2. Okay. You need a shirt every day. So you need 5 shirts a piece, right? So let's say you can talk them into getting 10 shirts, and then do you guys need aprons? We could do 10 shirts. You could tell them, hey, my minimum is 24 pieces. People respect minimums, and they'll try to get to the minimum if they can, but they may not need 24 shirts, right? So you got to make it make sense. So you have another employee, you have an employee, right? Let's say that you have that employee, and you're doing you can do 5 shirts for the employee and 5 shirts for yourself. Do you guys need aprons? Right? Maybe they need aprons, right? You can add a couple of aprons on there. You can even add a couple of caps on there, because all the time, like, let's say anytime you have a business, especially if it's a woman-owned business, the husband, he'll wear a cap. So you can figure out how you can come up with them 24 pieces. It can even be a menu. We're going to throw in a menu over here, and but you got your minimum. For me, I say to a 24 piece minimum, y'all, but I know that my minimum in my mind that I want to make off of any job is going to be $250 an hour. If I can't make $250 an hour working with you, I can't mess with you. That's just me. That's just me. I've always known what I want to make, right? I need it, especially with the kids. I need it. I need it. Grown kids, honey, sometimes can be 10 times, can put you through 10 times the amount of things, and you're spending money on them. Then what you're spending up right now is crucial. I need everything. Today I came in here and I said, you know what? I told Ken, we went and ate dinner because I told him, I said, baby, we need to go eat. We need to celebrate because we constantly making money moves every day. You need to take orders every day. Every day that you want to take an order. Every day that you want to take order, you need to have the ability to take order. Right now, y'all, it is April. It's a great time to be advertising. A great time to be advertising. It's getting hot outside. People are on their phones. Y'all know when it get hot, folks come out. Sun's out, buns out. People come out. People are looking for things to do. This is the perfect time to be blasting your stuff on your social media, showing your stuff. I've been seeing a lot of y'all doing stuff. I've been trying to do stuff on social media, but y'all, honey, I've been too busy. Um, so just trying to still, keep all of that stuff like automated and all that stuff. I got a good video coming up for y'all on that. I have been posting and doing things with a new app where I'm posting on the regular. It's been about 2 days since I posted, but I'll actually do about 2 weeks of posts, and then I don't even have to worry about social media. I don't even have to look at it and figure out, hey, am I posting anything or anything like that, right? And then you also have to make. So I have one, two, three, four. I have four different social media profiles, right? Um, between no, I actually got more than that, but um, as a business professional, I've had to sit back and think because each channel that you have, or let's say for me, so I have T-shirt shop Dallas and I have Lady Print Boss, and it's like, okay, you don't need to be focusing on advertising on Lady Print Boss. You need to be focusing on advertising on T-shirt shop Dallas. And you need to, what do you need to be advertising? You need to be advertising your hitters, those things that make the money for you, because one big sale gonna top 10 little sales, right? So that's what I do. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. So let's see here. Baby Giant says the shop I'm working with now, she was amazed at how I took over the conversation with a customer who wants shirts made. Shop owner did not know what questions to ask. Say it again. We gotta know. It's customer service skills. I'm telling you guys. Customer service, customer service, customer service, customer service. It's not a given, Baby Giant. It's not. It's not a given. I remember I used to tell Shell, because Shell has the most amazing customer service that just comes natural to her. Everybody's not customer service oriented. Y'all see this face? Y'all know I can make them faces like, mm. But sometimes you have to learn, the more that you're in business, you have to learn how to fake your customer service. You have to learn how to, because I talk to people over the phone, right? So when I talk to people over the phone, y'all see how happy my voice sounds now? I have to switch up my voice. And I have to be compassionate and friendly and airy. And honey, I could just be told Ken to go himself. But I got, hey, thanks for calling T-shirt shop Dallas. This is Latana. How can I help you? Right? And I got to hold a conversation. I got to put all, and that's the problem. A lot of times people, we don't put our shit to the side. Put all your baggage to the side. How many times y'all been somewhere and How many times y'all been somewhere and y'all doing something and people say, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with her," but baby, I didn't do it to you. I didn't do it to you. Whoever did it to you, I didn't do it to you because they brought their baggage with them, right? So you don't bring your baggage with you. You have to always be on your A game with customer service. Now you do have to be stern. I had a customer this week, y'all. The rules is the rules is the rules. Now, I had a customer this week. I don't know how this is going to end up. Now, I feel like I want to say, Shirley, this is. Anyway, didn't know if the woman was going to come out of bag on me or whatever, right? Had a customer this week, and whenever I send out a email, I try to be very thorough. I try to ask the questions that need to be asked in order for me to give you a quote. And at the same time, I tell you how the payment needs to be made. I let you know that you have not placed an order unless the payment is made. Whenever I send out something, and let's say somebody calls and they say, "Hey, I need this," I do the quote, I send the invoice over, and I say, "Your order has been placed pending payment. Please remit your payment via this link," right? And then I got the link there for them to click it. I make it real easy. Then, underneath that, in red bold letters, it says, "Only paid orders go to print." And something about making sure that they make the payment so that their order is not delayed, right? However, this week I had a lady who had I've been talking to this lady since March. It's April. We talking about since March the 6th. And it's a company. And I received a nice, lovely email from them notifying me that per their policy, they don't pay invoices until 45 days later. LaTonna Robertson has no respect of any person who does not deserve it or any company. I am a small company. I'm not a corporate giant, and I cannot wait 45 days to get my money from no damn body. We done did that before. Okay. So, as a small company, let's talk about how you handle that. So, the first thing that I did after I looked at the email, I said, "Oh, hell no," because after she said that they don't pay, and she said, "I hope this isn't a problem." And then she hit me with the wink, wink. Now, I know what the exclamation point means. I know when you write something in all capital letters, you're screaming at me and all that, but I didn't know what the damn wink, wink meant. So I didn't know if she was trying to butter me up or she was trying to be funny or what, right? Y'all see my face. I was not happy. I said, "Oh, baby." I sat there. I said, "I'm going to let her have it." Oh, I'm finna let her have it. 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 Because, we finna cancel your invoice. So I had to get up and I had to walk away because this is what on this channel, I keep it 100 with y'all. Keep it 100 with y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe because we talk about this type of stuff every time we on TalK. If you see TalK, it means that it's raw and uncut. So I'm like, "Baby, I'm finna give her ass the business." I'm mad because this is a big company that has a lot of money. And per our first email, we've already talked about this, how much the deposit is and when the balance is due. I've jumped through all kind of hoops for you to make sure you got W-9s and Make sure you got insurance and all this stuff. I've done everything that I can do. But now you done pushed me to my limit. That's where I was. So in order for me, I had to. Who's done got shot, y'all? Somebody done got shot over. I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm over there trying to see what's going on Smash the Topic, Tampa. Something's going on Smash the Topics. So I was really upset, y'all, that I had to type. This is what I'll do. Oh, I'm going to give her the business. I'm going to give her the business. Right? And then I'll get up. I'll say, girl, honey, walk away. Walk away. Just walk away. So I walked away. And then I came back and I sent over a nice, lovely email. And I said, I just said, hey, I just said, I'm sorry. But per our policy, because see, everybody got their policies. If your policy is to pay 45 days later, they ain't got nothing to do with TSD. Our policy is to get paid up front. Time you come into a customer like that, I guarantee you if you don't get your money, it's going to be a headache. So I sent back a nice, lovely letter and said, I'm sorry. And I didn't even say I'm sorry. I just, because I did start typing I'm sorry. And then I said, I ain't sorry. Let me go back and take that off of there. And I said something to the effect of, as, per our policy, um, per our policy, all orders are due 24 days, 21 days before the due date. And da-da-da-da, you have to make this deposit in order to hold your event date because this was for an event. And I let them know if our invoice, not your invoice, because a lot of times people, they want to pay you how they want to pay you. And you can't go to Walmart and say, oh, no, I'm going to pay with this. Oh, no, I'm not going to pay that way. I'm going to pay you in Bitcoin. You can't do that. So if you guys are unable to pay our invoice, then I'm sorry, but we won't be able to do business. I'll have to cancel your order and release your date. But I can hold it for you for another 24 hours. That part. Either you pay it or you don't. No need of me going and doing work and not getting paid. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that over here. So sometimes you do have to have customers that you have to, let's see here. A to Z Crafty Shop says, Etsy got folks wanting whole designs for $2. Well, this is the thing. And this is what you have to look at. Who's Etsy's customer? Who's Etsy's customer? And for you, because here, so, and this is what I mean. So today I got three calls today from digitizers and people who did different services. Some people's services were $30 for digitizing. One guy said, hey, we'll digitize something, your first logo for $15, then it's $20, and then one was $25, but all around in the same price range, right? When you look at, don't even compare yourself to Etsy, right? Don't even compare yourself to Etsy. You have people who buy cheap, and then you have people who will spend money for things that they want. And when you go and you look at Etsy, now I'm an Etsy seller, so I ain't finna be shady. I'm just finna keep it 100. The things that you find on Etsy are normally very elementary. A lot of text slogans, a lot of things that you can find over anywhere, right? Not a lot of originality when it comes towards designing or things like that, right? I can tell you this. House moms and housewives and crafters are shopping on Etsy, honey. hmm Separate yourself. Take it how y'all want, but it's the truth. Separate yourself. Get out of. I've told you before, Tampa. We've had a conversation, and y'all know I ain't never afraid to repeat it. I stand 10 toes down on anything that I say. And I've told you before that the type of designing that you're able to do, you need to remove yourself from the craft space and from people who are trying to do the same thing that you are doing. See, if I'm in a room full of screen printers, right, and I'm trying to sell to screen printers, I ain't gonna get no sales. If you're in a room full of people who are trying to figure it out in business, I see some of y'all leaving the chat. Gone. Bye-bye. Those of y'all that want the gym, stay here. You're trying to build business, right? You can't build your business on the backs of people who are also trying to build their business because they don't have it. They may not have the funds. They're looking for in this YouTube space that we're in. Everybody wants something for free. See, everybody wants something for free. I'll advertise my t-shirt calculator, but it's powering over 300 screen printers. I don't advertise. When you Google it and you find it, it's there. I refuse to push a product on people who don't know its worth, or you're not looking for something of value, right? Not saying that crafters are not looking for something of value, but here's the thing. If you're doing designs and I'm trying to do designs, I'm trying to learn something. And they ain't trying to spend money. So you got to find people that are willing to purchase your services, right? Had a guy call me today, the first guy ever to call me today and ask me, we were talking about art, and he wanted to know if we do art graphic design services, and I said, yeah, we do simple stuff, da da da. And he said, well, I just wanted to know if you guys do any type of editing with AI art and how that looks, how that would look, right? So for me, if I were you, right? Oh, child. Yeah. Y'all know I'm going to give it to y'all raw. It's TalK. It's TalK. What y'all expect? It's going to come raw. And it's just the truth, that we in this space and everybody like, oh, I can go over here and they doing it for free. And they giving this and they giving that. Then I can get it for free over here too. Right? And a lot of times people don't respect. They feel like, oh, quite frankly, people feel like they're on the same level as you in designing. So I'm not going to pay her that because I could really do that myself. But they really can't. Right? And if you could, you would go do it, or maybe you can, but you don't have enough time to go do it. I tell you all the time, I'm like, the amount of time is money. And the AI artwork that you're doing, the ads, the things like that, you need to take those to people who need marketing, right? You need to be promoting that to businesses that are trying to maybe update their social media, um, planners, event planners that are doing things that need like perspective drawings, things like that, because I know that you do that too. And where you can do like party layouts and things like that. There's a whole market for it, sis. It's a whole market. It's just that you are stuck dealing with people who are trying to grow their business, and they don't value you as a person, and they don't value your expertise. And that's just the truth of it. I've run into plenty of people, especially my black people, my people, right? We keeping it 100 here, that don't value my expertise. However, I can walk in a room, right, of people who are not my race or my peers, and people are, oh, Miss Robertson, I just want to thank you for such and such and such. You did such and such and such, right? But because I come on here and I'm just T, and y'all see me with my t-shirt on, and you don't see nothing. I ain't got no jewelry on, just on here just being me. You get it twisted. And you'll judge the book by the cover before you peel back the layers, right? She talking Ebonics, she's ghetto, she's this, she's that. Guess what? Been in business more than most of them. One thing I do know, I was talking this morning to somebody, and I said, I did a show. And at the show, everybody was just talking, and everybody was beating their chests and this and that and the other. And there was one question that was asked. And to this day, I keep kicking my own ass, because I knew that was the only damn person on the panel qualified to answer the question. And I didn't answer it. I didn't answer because I let pride. I was like, oh, honey, the man that answered the question, they looked at the person over here, and that dummy said, the man said he wanted to know. He said, after the whole panel, was only one good question, one question that I should have answered, and I didn't. The person asking the question asked, how do I get customers? How can I get more customers in my business? And the whole time I had been sitting back, because I was like, this is just a shit show. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to figure out, why the hell am I here? Because there's a bunch of fakery going on. But when I heard the question, I leaned forward. Whenever I lean forward and I'm sitting back and I lean forward, I'm ready. I leaned forward like this here. The guy next to me, who was a millionaire, mm-hmm, his dumb ass said, well, I find that if you just answer the phones, then you'll, if you guys were at that convention, then you guys know. He said, if I found that if you just answer the phones, then, people, you just answer the phones, then you'll get customers. There I was, leaned forward. Maybe it was the look on my face that made the host bypass me and go to the next person. Or maybe it was because they had already disrespected me. But they went on down the lines. 5 people on the panel went to the next guy. He said, well, yeah, just answer the phones, and, maybe you make sure that you answer the phones. They went on down to the next dummy. Y'all know that dummy that's always trying to compare herself to Lady Print Boss. The imposter who seems to have a problem with me says, I agree with him. If you just answer the phones. Now, when the person who asked the question started shaking his head like this here and never looked at me, the one person in the room, I just sat back. And at that moment, my mind said, I'm in a room full of a bunch of damn privileged folks that's just dumb as hell. Why am I here? That's what my mind said. And I said, well, he don't want these gems. I'm not going to give it to him. To hell with it. It's one time that I made a mistake. And I'll never do that again because I should have answered that question. But I guess at that moment, God didn't want me to answer because I probably would have said something that would have, you guys know I'm not the best at filtering, and I'm not the best at hiding the look on my face. Because I know that if they ever played that video, the look on my face would have said it all. Because in my mind, when I leaned forward and I looked at this guy, I said, what the? That's what I'm up to. And it would have went something like this. Obviously, if you're not getting customers, the phone's not ringing, right? So let's figure out how we can get you customers. And then I would ask a series of questions, right? Because in order to get customers, you have to be visible. So my next question would have been is, where are you visible? Are you visible online? Do you have a website? Is the website optimized? Are you advertising the website? Are you on Google? Right? How easily do you make it for people to get in contact with you? Do you have a social media page? If you have a social media page, do you have a contact you button on the social media page? How easy is it for people to get to you? Do you have business cards? Do you have any type of advertisement on your vehicle? What are you doing to get out into the community? Are you handing out flyers? Are you doing email lists? Email campaigns? Are you doing any type of campaign ads, right? Are you getting out into the community, going to events? How are you selling yourself? Are you picking up the phone and doing any cold call marketing? How are you targeting customers? Who is your customer? Only person in the room qualified to answer, and I fucked up. I fucked up that day, y'all. I fucked up that day. Because I was pissed off. I was pissed off that day at the panel. And the reason I was pissed off is because sometimes I get too passionate, right? Sometimes I get too passionate because the questions that were being asked that day on the panel had nothing to do with helping the people in the room, right? And everybody on the panel was giving bullshit answers. I just didn't answer. And even though I didn't answer for the guy there, I should have answered for the other people that were sitting there. Because normally, I'm a very vocal person. So even when they pass me up, I should have just started talking. Because that's what I normally do. I should have just started talking, leaned up, said, excuse me, with the church house finger. And just start talking. But it was a missed opportunity. So, um, just something that happened that I, you know, thought about. Yeah. Always be you. Yes, 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 sir. Bitcoin Pilot. Hi, lady. I really appreciate your videos on the DK Auto Press. All right. Okay. Well, congratulations. I've been using those geonite presses since I got into business, and I can tell you this: a good quality press, it does make a difference. It does make a difference. So thank you, thank you. Okay, y'all. So it's about time for us to get off of here. We've been on here. We've been talking for a while. Again, topic of the video: does it make good business sense? What are y'all thinking about purchasing? What are you guys thinking about purchasing? And how do you feel about buying in cash versus like maybe financing things out? And we didn't talk about building your credit, right? A lot of times, like, you can take that extra money that you have, sometimes invest in yourself, build your credit, do things that you need to do for your business, work on in your spare time. You need to be working on things. Just always advertising, 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 right? Advertising. I know that a lot of us don't like to talk, right? I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all see how I get on here and talk? I'm a country girl. Be yourself. Clean it up a little bit when you're on the phone, right? If you have to do a cold call script and you have to build yourself up to having conversations with people, that's what you got to do. Some of us have to go take speech classes. Some of us have to learn their customer service, like me. I literally was taught in college how to be good at customer service and how to be good at sales, right? You don't have to be the friendliest person. You may not be that person who likes to talk to people. I watched my nephew, who in my shop, he always said, Amy, go talk to them. I don't want to talk to people. And I kept working with him over the years. I remember one time we went to do a class out of town. And we got to the shop. And I turned and I looked at him. And I said, Neff, you gonna teach the class? He said, Amy, I can't. Amy, I can't. Neff, I need you to teach the class. I don't feel good. I started faking. I don't feel good. I need you to do this for me. You can do it. He said, but what do? I said, do what you always do. Do what you watch me do. Do what you do in the shop. You're the best cut man that I know. To this day, he still is. I've trained you. I prepared you. I went and laid in my truck, baby. I went on outside and laid in my truck. I feel bad. And he made me proud. So, and he's a person who did not like to talk to people. But I knew that the only way for me to get him to talk to someone and to do what I needed him to do was for me to fake sick, because he wasn't going to let me down. Right? I knew that He may not do it for himself, but he would not let me down. And I say that to say this. When you feel like, oh, I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that, think about that person. Think about those kids. Maybe you got kids that you're trying to take care of, you're trying to feed. Anything I do, I'm always thinking about my children. I'm always thinking about my children. I'm always thinking about what I'm going to leave for the next generation, what people are going to say when I leave here. They'll probably say, hey, yeah, Lady PB was crazy as hell, this, and the other. But one damn thing I know when I get up there to them pearly gates, right? For all the sins and all the bad I've done, I know he going to say, well, girl, you did do some good out there. You did help some folks. You know what I'm saying? You can't take it with you. So think about it. When you're out here and you're doing this, what are you doing for the next generation? What are you doing for yourself? Because we don't have 401k plan in this business, right? 6 months. 6 months was the number my daddy gave me. 6 months. You need to be able to pay your bills for 6 months. If you get sick, 6 months. If you don't have 6 months in savings right now, start taking 10%, just 10%. If you can't do 10%, do 5% of every sale that you make. Move it into an account. Move it. Move it. You can set it up with your bank where you can automatically have deposits that are going over there. Move it into a savings account and don't touch it and watch it grow. You cannot, as a good business owner, have all of your money just invested in equipment or invested in other things and you can't get out of it what you put into it. Because once you buy equipment, guys, it's used. It's used. And you'll never be able to get out of it. If I needed to liquidate everything that I have today, I have a couple of houses I've been trying to liquidate and get rid of them, and I tell you, it's been the hardest thing because people don't want to pay you what things are worth, right? But you have to have something. You have to have property. You have to invest in yourself, and you have to invest. Take your money as you're building your t-shirt business or whatever business you're doing. When you're building business, right? You have to take your money, and you want to be at some point, you want to be able to invest in something else to where you don't have all of your eggs in one basket. And it can be just, it's in my scenario, right? I do t-shirts in-house and I also do mobile stuff, right? I also have my dog thing. I have the real estate stuff. You have to be able to have different avenues of money coming in. I've been selling t-shirt calculator digitally since 2009. Since 2009. Digital products. Think digital products. If you're selling physical products, think digital products also, because it's residual income. It may start off to where you have a couple of designs up. I saw Tampa say, hey, Etsy wants to give you $2. I don't make a lot of money off of Etsy, y'all. I make most of my money off of digital products, off of the website sales, off of Lady Print Boss, right? But here's the thing. When you go and you look at a website, a digital website, if it makes $10,000 a year, that's $10,000 that you did not have. You created one product or 10 products or whatever, right? And you added an extra $10,000. Even if you add an extra $600 a month or $300 a month to your income on digital products, you can pay a bill. And that's what it's about. Anytime I create something, it's like, okay, I can create this and then I can pay a bill. My YouTube channel, I don't make much money off of it, but it will pay a bill. I thank y'all I thank y'all. Those of you guys who watch me all the time, I do. I thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. When you watch the videos, not all videos are monetized, but when you watch those videos and those videos are monetized, and you watch that video and you watch a commercial, think about it sometime. Let me watch this whole commercial, honey, so Lady PB can get her little residuals off of it, okay? Because it all comes into play. And if you have money here, money here, money here, money here, when one thing slows, something else picks up. That's my thoughts for today. That's my thoughts for today. Um, I'm going to leave you guys with that. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. God bless everybody. Talk to y'all later. I'm a little tired. What is this? 9 o'clock. I've been on here running my mouth for almost 2 hours. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.